so glad you're here. Mother would often remind me, when you come into somebody's home, you don't go empty-handed, you bring a gift. One hallelujah, she would say. So tonight, I want to share with you in the majesty, the brilliance of my friends and family. One by one, they'll take the stage and they will express themselves and perform for all of us as a reminder, something beautiful, something really beautiful in the world. One hallelujah. So don't sit back, don't relax, take it all in. One by one, they'll come into the space, this shared space, this National Sawdust, the house that Paola built. And they'll claim their brilliance and their love and their expression and everything that they do. In their singing, and their playing, and their moving, and their dancing, all for you. One hallelujah.
Such a pretty night. Y si me voy un día, la niña no sabe lo que dice. No me busques. Sus palabras no encontraron a nadie como quería.
Sorry,
Perdón, no sé por qué te dije todo eso.
I'm gonna go.
Camino y no escuchó su amigo llamando.
Hey.
Solo oyó la silencia de la noche. Camino, quería perderse y no lo encontrarás. Camina, camina y vio hasta el cielo.
Until it all looks so dark.
Your sky looked like a void, so overwhelmed it filled up my vision and mind. Didn't mean to leave you like that. Why couldn't I hold it in this time? I don't know what I can't explain. I just wanna float away. Please take me from this place. Please help me make my escape. Thank you, Daniel. I'm Adrianna Mateo, solo violinist, singer, songwriter, and actress. Just wanted to thank Daniel, the OG, who made the way for other people who play string instruments and do other things. So this first song, it's called Built to Win, and one of the really fun things about this song, I think, is that I just kind of found a spot for there are not so many songs about letting go of something that is ultimately not helping you in your career, and as an empowered woman, I was like, I must write this song. Letting you go shouldn't be this hard. Baby, I know I was built to win. Hitting my flow, leaving you behind was something I needed, not that I wanted, so you know. Ooh, success, a full night's rest in an empty bed. Ooh, success, I'm built to win and my heart's a mess. I'm built to win, but at what cost? Baby, if I win, does it always gotta mean love lost? Baby, I'm hurting, guess I'm still learning, yearning for you. Baby, I'm hurting, guess I'm still learning, I'm built to win, and I lost you. Ooh, I gotta go, I got a show, it's a Saturday night. DBR Lab. Lock my gaze, smile, slay, I'm built to win. Singing my shot, down second thoughts, leaving you behind was something I needed. Ooh, success, a full night's rest in an empty bed. Ooh, success, my heart's a mess. I'm built to win, but at what cost? Baby, if I win, does it always gotta mean love lost? Why is it still hurting? Guess I'm still learning, yearning for you. Baby, I miss you, I wanna kiss you, I'm built to win, and I lost you. Ooh, ready to roll, they're calling me by name. Baby, you've always known I'm built to win. Just 'cause I could, don't mean I should. Leaving you behind was something I needed. Ooh, success, my heart's pounding, but my smile is set. Ooh, success, my smile is set. I'm built to win, at what cost? Does it always gotta mean love lost? Why is it still hurting? Guess I'm still learning, yearning for you. I'm built to win, and I lost you. Thank you. So if you decided to maybe check out my stuff after this show, I just want to let you know I am on the internet, and it's at Adrianna Mateo with 2 N's, 1 T. Otherwise, you're going to find a jazz photographer. If you really wanted to make my day, which would be amazing, if you went on my Instagram and you went on the first link, there's a link tree, and the third link after that is my newsletter, which I only send out once every month. So it's minimum annoying, I promise. The next song is actually from a show that I just finished in February at the Tank, and it's the first time I've ever wrote music for a full production. It was a 90-minute play with music, and it's about pregnancy and childbirth. And it is the most fun and semi-frustrating thing to write a pop song about pregnancy and childbirth, because the language doesn't exist. It's all about I am totally fertile and sexy. And so it was super fun to lock myself in a room, I think, and try and find rhymes with okay, well, what's a cool way to introduce the idea of an epidural, because epidural is a really clunky word in a pop song. We're talking about 2 or 3 syllables, and that's not going to work. And so I came up with this concept of okay, well, a lot of pop music is about this push and pull. So what if we talk about I'm late and I got time? Because if you think about it, anybody who's been through this amazing, massive, crazy experience that actually shifts your bones, like if you would shift your bones, you'd probably call a doctor, which you do, but we don't think of it, right? We would say like, okay, I'm late, I've got time, I want to talk about this thing. So this is Baby, I'm Late and I've Got Time. Once upon a time, we wrapped things up at ever after. Happily, babe, it's story time. It's hot and heavy in the later. Smile, baby, it's not grim. Aesop nor Anderson, reclaiming what's sublime. Baby, I'm late and I got time, ripe to wake within. Romance and violence, reclaiming what's sublime. Baby, I'm late and I got time. Body center stage, bottled up primal rage. Calm down. Needles in my spine, overthinking, I'm fine. Calm down. Bones shifting for new space. Slow down, slow wait, reclaiming what's sublime. Baby, I'm late and I got elbows inside kicks, hiccups, fingertips, reclaiming what's sublime. Baby, I'm late and I got time. Thank you. So one of the cool things about New York is that you can do all sorts of things. You can do a run of a show about pregnancy and childbirth at the Tank and have a full run. You can play on Broadway. You can work with people who are known for their work with Michael Jackson and John Legend. And I have had the immense privilege of being able to do all of those things. And the song is super special to me. It is meant more as a kind of like studio project. It's meant to be orchestral pop, and I hope you just can enjoy bathing in the sound that comes from these beautiful, amazing, probably very expensive speakers. It's called Skin Hunger, and I don't know if you all remember like the early days of the pandemonium. And one of the things that I remember seeing pop up on my feeds is the concept of skin hunger or touch hunger, because we're all in isolation, and it turns out like babies need a certain amount of touch in order to develop properly. If you don't get enough touch in a certain amount of time, people will actually see, like you can observe people just kind of like brushing up against each other on the street. And I thought that it was just a really cool concept, and I wanted to kind of pull it apart through a personal lens. So this is Skin Hunger. Church bells ain't ringing just yet. Boy, you and me barely met. How do you know more about me than them? We talk of dreams and the stars, long lost love, bruises and scars. Most of me hungers for tingling limbs. Skin hunger, oh comfort of the flesh. Skin hunger, oh craving to confess. Skin hunger, oh heavens breaking in, wash away. I can't stop watching the past, the first one said and the last. seeing the fallen through. You kiss, I'm going along. You ask me why it feels wrong. My breath stops, but you want me to. Skin hunger, oh comfort of the flesh. Skin hunger, oh craving to confess. Skin hunger, oh heaven's breaking in. I wanna wake up swimming, something more than thought. I wanna wake up gasping, not feeling one heart but. I wanna let you hold me, I wanna fall apart. I wanna let you touch my broken heart. Skin hunger, oh comfort of the flesh. Skin hunger, oh craving to confess. Skin hunger, 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 skin hunger. Wash away, 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 wash away. Thank you. Thank you, DBR, for having me.
No. No, no. No. I can't. No. Get out of my house. Yeah. Help! Yes! Out of my house! Stop! No! Fuck you! Get! No, stop! Stop! No! Get out of my head! Fuck you! And you! I hate you! Fuck society! No! I hate... I hate you! Stop! No, enough!
got to be quiet. They can't know what you've become. They can't hear your voice, see your scars. Smile. 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 They want to see you smile. You stay silent. Do you agree? Your mind is racing. Look around the door to your left. Obstructed. Nod. Through gritted teeth you nod. They laugh a little too loud. They laugh a pressure in your chest. The door is still blocked. They laugh a hand on your knee. They laugh their breath too close. The window looks great. They laugh at your unease. They laugh when it's over. Quiet. You've got to be.
Two aspirations towards an anthem for us. Look up. See where we're going. Look down. That's where we've been. Look out. Many more appearing. The beginning, not the end. We are the how and the what. We say you, we sing as we. The jump start, the spark light and dark, to scale the hill, to span the gap, a bridge across, trip, not trap, a flood. You are, we are, I am, we flowing as we breach this dam. Some giving, some taking, some making, some breaking. We are the mending, never-ending arc of the road bending, beckoning, beaming. No retreat from the future, no moving away. March, march, march. Musical, not military. Forward, lean in. Not all of this shall endure. This is merely where we begin. America, stop guarding. Start guiding. Cease fire, yet not forgetting. Fixing, not fighting. Remember to reawaken, regain, then give back what has been taken. Be the room to come alive in. Notes on a scale to sing again. The school, not the rule, is the house we are building. Windows and doors left open to leaving and re-entering. Gather in as divisions dissolve, left behind in mess and mire. This shouting will never resolve. Keeps driving ever higher, 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 higher. We are the river, the boat, the bird behind. Muscles, meat, meaning, feathers even. Awake to dreams not delivered in time, rewound grave to manger keening. We were in the time of lost vision, years of delay, disunion, revision, poised for payoff, then payback. We are comeback, repost, parry, known, knowing, and necessary. Cleaving, entering, leaving, the collapsing floors, locked and burning doors, delayed, the decayed lie awake dreaming of dreaming. Welcome to the show. You showed up. We showed up, never having slowed down, trudging again from lost to found, from fucked to future. We are right here, right now, forging gain from loss, fusing what with the how? Better to worse, a bridge from chorus to verse, scaling this chord called America, hearing the chorus calling, America, America, America. Shall we be notes on a scale at play, to fall but not to fail? Shall we resound, rebound in speech and song, even when we're wrong, moving, always moving on? A land that is not a vacant lot, on which to build some Camelot, note-taking but not seizing, off-pitch, discord, discourse, noise and mess, sounds bleeding, needing, major, minor, every scale, inhale, no, exhale, yes. United by division, every voice surfing the wind, winding, wandering, no map to keep us in, standing before every door, opening, never closing is what these hands are for. We are, we will be a wave rolling up the hill, outward roar, return to shore, uncontained, but what may carry, contaminated, liberated, a world not less but more. Never to forget, yet to fix, not to fight but forge, rebuilding better to best, breathing life against lies, the heat in our breath, the breath between us, breathing, breeding a beautiful mess. It's not where we come from, but where we will go. Inhale, no, exhale, yes. Born here, brought here, opening to awe. Born brave, borderless, we cooked and raw. We are the rowers moving up the river. Current coming from, current going to. Taker and giver, we now a we of me and you. Multitudes amplify, enlarge. Lonely? We were gaps, gasps, and flail. We wrangled words to notes, to fall, but not to fail. The ocean did not drown. The desert did not scourge. We leapt across, sailed over, shattered, then sheltered on shore, translating, transposing keys to unlock doors. Never contain, Keep back, keep out. No settler, no savage, no saved nor damned, no language ravaged, no signal jammed, finding pattern in the mess, seeking a future, yes, hiding in our past, no. Sundown, showdown, shadow looms, light seeps from stifling rooms, oozing trouble, trial, and test. Weary and wary voices strain, then search for the rest. Inhale, no. Exhale, yes. Inhale, no. Exhale, yes.
I'm okay. 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 I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm okay. Try not to think about it. Just take a deep breath. I'm okay. It's going to get better. I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. Just take a deep breath. Everything is all right. Don't worry. I'm okay. I'm fine. Don't worry. Try not to think about it. It's going to get better. Just take a deep breath. I'm not afraid. I'm fine. I'm okay. Try not to think about it. Just take a deep breath. I'm okay. It's going to get better. I'm fine. I'm okay. Just ignore it. Try not to think about it. I'm fine. Stay calm. It's going to get better. I'm okay. Try not to think about it. Just ignore it. Let it go. It's done. I'm fine. Try not to think about it. It's done. Just ignore it. Stay calm. I'm okay. Let it go. It's done. I'm okay. Let it go. Try not to think about it. I'm fine. It's done. It's going to get better. Just take a deep breath. Try not to think about it. I'm okay. I'm not afraid. I'm okay. I'm fine. Let it go. It's going to get better. Just ignore it. I'm okay. Try not to think about it. It's done. Stay calm. It's done. I'm fine. Stay calm. Just ignore it. I'm okay. 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 It will all be over soon.
You know, I wasn't expecting when I woke up today to cry for the first time, really sob for like the first time properly in 3 months.
First you hated black people, then you hated Jews, now you're hating everybody. So the question is, when it's the only people left are you, will you hate yourself?
Hello, my name is Nathan. I am 1 day on testosterone. This is my voice. 2 months on T.
Power concedes nothing. This house is for the people, by the people, to serve the people, and you won't listen.
My name is Nathan, and I am 3 months on testosterone.
You go after everybody's kids, but your own.
Hi, my name is Nathan, and I am 5 months on testosterone.
You make hate.
My name is Nathan, and I am now 3.5 years on testosterone.
You make hate.
Yearning for a home that you can't return to. Watching your life pass you by faster than the human eye. I'm waiting for something more, something sure. 'Cause none of this is guaranteed to last. My little Pompeii's gonna burn away. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust again. Dust to dust again. Waiting by a window sight to see what lies beyond. Taking in the scenery as everything dissolves behind crystal eyes, behind empty eyes, behind promises you can't keep alive. 'Cause none of this is guaranteed to last. My little Pompeii's gonna burn away. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust again. My little Pompeii's gonna burn away. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust again. 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 Ashes to ashes, dust to dust again.
From where should I start? I remember when I was 17, I was so disappointed with the world. One day I decided to leave. I remember the first time the doctor mentioned surgery. I was in fear, but I asked him if there was any alternative, but he said there's no way. The weather outside was beautiful that day. I remember the sky was blue, almost like the ocean, and the sunlight was dazzling. I couldn't even open my eyes. It was a morning around 9 a.m. here, probably closer to 12 a.m. in Shanghai time. I remember calling my mom on FaceTime, and the moment she picked up, she was still happily telling me she was eating barbecue and getting fat. I felt this overwhelming sense of guilt wash over me. I mean, here I was, about to mess up this body she gave me. I couldn't hold back. Tears fell from the corners of my eyes, and I said, "Mom, the doctor says I have to have surgery, and I have to relearn how to walk. Mom, I'm scared. What should I do? I don't want to have surgery, but what should I do?" I couldn't remember my mom's face because tears blurred my vision, but I remembered her voice. Her tone was so serious and stern. She said, "Stop crying. What good does crying do? Don't be so weak." Then I remember the day of the surgery. A nurse shifted my leg here. In my mind, I thought, why don't they shift the hair on my left leg? My leg here will be asymmetrical, exactly. Then there were 4 or 5 nurses around me helping me to serve the nerves in my thigh. They were asking about my family, medical history, and I was thinking, I don't even know my ancestors, how I'm supposed to answer that. Suddenly, the nurse asked me, "According to our protocol, I must ask you this question. In the event of an accident while you're in coma, who can make the decisions for you?" I said, "No one." The nurse paused and then said, "In that case, if an accident occurs, the doctors will make decisions for you." I said, "Okay." Then in the last 10 minutes before the anesthesia started, I FaceTimed my mom. I kept holding back, but I saw my mom crying. It was the first time I saw she cried. Then I was under anesthesia, just before losing consciousness. I remember the doctor was about to move me onto the operating table. With my last trace of consciousness, I told them, I can do that by myself. But I couldn't move even though I tried my hardest. The last thing I heard was, we look at her trying to help. Then my world turned black, but I can feel so much pain. It felt like I was somewhere in the universe surrounded by dark matter. I could hear the beeping of the monitor, the cold dripping sound. Someone was calling me, but I couldn't see life. I was still in the darkness. I was in so much pain. That voice said, "You should wake up now, you should go." And I finally saw the light. I was lifted onto a wheelchair, holding onto the ice machine. I thought, this thing is so big. My legs couldn't move at all, and I was holding onto so many medications. 4 hours after the surgery, I thought I couldn't be so weak. I stood up. It took me nearly 40 minutes to climb 3 flights of stairs back to my apartment. I know I shouldn't do that. It was tough, but I couldn't help but feel a sense of pride in my strength. I was like, I'm different. I have to be strong, and I'm strong. And I have to be stronger. My mom said the most regrettable thing I've ever done is sending you to dance class when you were 5, letting you leave home alone when you were 12, and again at 18, letting you go even further away. In the days that followed, I'm just thinking everything. I could do everything by myself since 12, but this time I felt despair. I couldn't move. I was useless. What function did I have left? I fell into nihilism. Then at 18, I made another life-changing decision to leave my birth country. Stepping into this new environment felt like being a newborn kid, timid and hesitant to speak up. I spent my days quietly observing the unspoken rules of behavior until I gathered enough courage to find my voice. My teacher back in China once told me something. He shared a quote from Bernard Roumain. "There's only one heroism in the world, to still love life after recognizing the truth of life." I said I also remembered what Nietzsche said, only optimism purified by pessimism is true optimism. I remember when I was 17, I was so disappointed with the world. One day I decided to leave. I packed 5 pieces of clothing, a cell phone, a power bank, bought a ship ticket, and left. No one knew where I went. I saw a deep blue boundary line from the ship's window, usually above sea level, sometimes in the sea. I was pondering what was in the middle. what kind of liminal space it was. I chatted with the crew, talked with people who couldn't afford the ticket and slept on the floor. I saw children's shorts washed away by the waves, parents helping them find short scenes. The golden silhouette of the sunset on the horizon. I sat by the sea at 3 a.m., watching the pitch black sea, listening to the sound of the sea breeze and waves until dawn. I saw Tyndall effect at sunrise, and I heard an old man picking up trash by the sea asking me, "Girl, aren't you cold sitting here alone? Don't despair, life is beautiful." I met a fortune teller on the street corner. She told me, "Girl, you have a young body, but an old soul, I can tell, which means you will experience more, even the breath of trees and pain." I saw street cats and dogs on the street corner. I took off my coat to make home for them and used all my cash to buy them food. I even felt they were very lonely. They just wanted to live. So I decided to accompany them. I sat in the bushes talking to them for an afternoon. I walked like this, walked through many familiar, different, similar streets and alleys, and saw trees of different characters. I love trees. They make me feel the true strength. Something bigger than my own breath is alive inside me. The tree told me, "Your blood has cooled. It's time to boil again." Because I exhausted by my greatest curiosity and the static sense on people, wandering and lost. However, I'm also human, because I know with a flesh body, you are destined to endure inherent disturbances. The tree responded to me again, "You want to reach the height of freedom? Your soul longs for the starry sky." So I seem to see something. I'm always a work in progress. I'm my own freedom. There are too many constraints in life. I want to find my own freedom. Later, I saw a stone, a lonely stone, occupying the entire sky. It said, "In these 1,000 years, I only love myself." I saw water again. Water has no memory, so it's always so pure. I saw what people were doing thousands of years ago under the night sky, how they built pyramids in their conversations, how they made up the first word, and why they started the first dance. I remembered Borges saying, "When I look up at the moon, I don't just see a shining body in the sky. It's also the moon of Virgil, Shakespeare, Ricky, and Gongora. You see, the moonlight tonight is so beautiful." Sometimes I feel like I'm crazy, but sometimes I feel like the world is mentally ill, and I'm just entertaining myself in a nightmare. Later, I fell in love with mountains. I kneeled with the Tibetan people and pilgrims. I listened to why they wanted to wash away their sins. The secret mountain in their eyes, the quiet yet primitive, powerful mountain in my eyes. They are there, quietly witnessing all the happenings in history. I enjoy solitude. I can sense my end. No one knows me. I don't need to concern myself with anyone. Detached from the worldly stalemate, entering the drifting process. Slight joy, slight sway, slight awakening. Sometimes you have to step out yourself before you can find yourself again. Sometimes you must stop staring at yourself to see yourself clearly. My mind is on fire, but no one can see the flames. Yet the ashes indicate there was once fire. I am constantly abandoning myself. At the same time, I am reborn from my own ruins. I realize that deliberately sought after things are often elusive. Everything in the world has its time to come and go. Don't let yourself wither, and don't let others tame you. I age, yet I'm young. I'm foolish, yet wise. Toward others, I'm indifferent, yet caring. Maternal and paternal instincts both reside within me. I am a child, yet an adult. I'm coarse, yet refined. Don't yield, don't dilute. Don't make it seem reasonable. Don't modify your soul according to trends. Instead, fiercely pursue what you love most. Tear yourself apart until you become whole. I remember when I was 17, I was so disappointed with the world. One day, I decided to leave.
Bahay means house in Tagalog. And this bahay, this house, this home is important to my family. You see, Filipinos have a passed down philosophy of kinship. Isang baksak. It means we rise as one and we fall together. My ancestors believed in strength through unity. They, natural seafarers, whom were told the tree of life, a coconut tree, was first afloat in the ocean until the sea ushered it onto land. Then, fully laid out, the sun cracked the bark wide open and took in the air of a new foreign place. Out sprouted the first man and woman in unison. They learned how to work together in unison harmoniously and first listened to the land and the water. They took the coconut seeds and filled their stomachs. They took its fibers and wove clothing, and then they took the bark and its leaves and fastened. They fastened a house. They created the first place for the tao, the people. And this bahay became an archive of our lineage in the islands. So even as we sailed to many distant lands, we never forgot who we were or where we came from and all the knowledge that was stored in this house. Like somehow, as Filipino Americans, we are taught to bless our elders as we enter any space. How we bow our heads in front of them and guide their hands to our forehead. A sacred gesture called a mano. It's humility for our predecessors, a recognition for the path they built with their hands. Even for just a moment, we can create a time of respite for carrying the weight and the burden of knowledge and how sacred it is. No history, no self. No history, no self. Like Jose Rizal would have said in his writings, the same writings that freed colonized Filipino minds under Spanish rule, the same writings that freed colonized Filipino minds under US rule. A total of 381 years. A home, a bahay, here in the States. It's an imprint of our existence, an acknowledgement of building and the labor of building a bridge between here and the homeland. At least to those who could and wanted, those meager minds look at pamphlets titled, "You can be American too. You can be American too. You can be American too." With hopes of finding a white picket fence waiting for them beyond the Pacific, they press their brown faces on the window of a plane anxiously, saw that when looking through the glass, the islands became smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until the islands were swallowed by the horizon. So we find ourselves standing split in the middle where the oceans meet, weathered by trying to stand on water. Our bodies are split even, trying to stand on water. Building a Baha'i here seems like an impossible feat, but we do this anyways. To stand on water is like trying to stand on both Filipino and American. Filipino, American, Filipino, American, Filipino, and American, Filipino, and American, Filipino, and American, Filipino, and American. My name is John Paul Alejandro, and as a child of immigrants, the first lesson we learn is to never forget about home.
All right. Hello, how are you? Thank you for being here on a Saturday evening. And I thought it would be wonderful to have everyone state their name so that you know who they are. I'm Bernard Roumain.
I'm Nathan Ficani.
Brandon Lombardo.
Dania Urena.
Kylan Hellman.
Deanna Rusnock.
Lane Swinson.
Valkyrie.
JP Alejandro.
Adrianna Mateo.
Jeff McMahon.
Melina Gross.
All right. Well, this is DBR Lab. This is, I think, the 4th or 5th year we've been doing this at Arizona State. 6th year. Please give a hand to Melina Gross, who's been there since day one. Project manager, director. Oh. And of course, we're here at National Sawdust. DBR Lab is housed at Arizona State University in Tempe, Arizona. Purple State, we hope. We're going to get to that. There's a lot of politics on this stage, right? A lot of self-expression, a lot of identity. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust again, right? And DBR Lab is rooted in this notion of project-based art making. We don't use the word teacher or students. We're all contributors to a space, a classroom, a community, a world of ideas. Everything you saw came from them. Everything you heard came from them. So when Dania was singing her beautiful song, she created all the music. She played the violin. She put it all, she used different programs to create different effects. So it's very important. There were some collaborations. When Brandon was dancing, he was dancing to a soundtrack created by Nathan, right? All right, so I'm sure you have questions, comments. We are here to answer them. The great Jeff McMahon, give a hand to Jeff. Jeff is a professor emeritus, and we co-taught this lab for 3 years as well. And Jeff has always lived in New York as well as in Tempe, Arizona. So, any questions, comments? What is lingering in your mind? What are you feeling right now? What do you remember? What was provocative? What lingers? Yes. 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 Oh, can I come down? I think I can come down.
I didn't even raise my hand. It was a facial thing. So, thank you. Well, that was amazing. Really, all of you. I mean, each story was so fantastic. I was very moved by your dance and the, I don't know if I want to call it soundscape, soundtrack, or that was super powerful. Being a straight white male, it was very interesting to be brought into your world, and it was incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful, and I think that's what art is all about, to have us come into your space.
Well, what was incredibly powerful?
Well, first of all, will we call it a soundtrack? The voices.
Yes. So this piece was originally created as a trio back at Arizona State University, and these were the voices of myself plus the two other dancers that I had. And I originally wanted something completely different, and then TBR suggested Nathan and Deanna to kind of like put it together. So mostly Nathan kind of did the work. Entirely Nathan, but I wanted to give credit to Deanna as well. And then they kind of helped mash it together, and that's where we got.
And it would be called a sound score.
Thank you. Thank you. So it was very powerful.
I
And you
appreciate
asked me
that.
why
Thank
I thought
you.
it was powerful, because it almost put me inside your interiority. What you're hearing, maybe growing up, maybe as a young person trying to figure themselves out. I didn't experience that, so you brought me into that, and that was really powerful for me. So,
Thank you so much.
everyone else's also, but that for some reason resonated.
Thank you so much. Oh, wonderful. Well, you know, we spent the day yesterday at New York Live Arts up here on 19th Street with the great Bill T. Jones, talking to us directly about being black, being gay, being on the cover of Time magazine, and openly HIV positive. I was his music director for 10 years, and he talked a lot about what it means to contextualize self-expression and success, and the inevitability, the collision even of those things, history. Right. So the lab spends 3 or 4 days in New York City. We went to the Whitney Biennale. We didn't get to the High Line, but we were able to spend time together in a wonderful brownstone in Crown Heights, and we're eating meals together and just hanging out, and they call it an immersive experience. What are some of the other questions, things that are lingering in the mind? Yes. Yes.
So my question is for the dancers who used props, and kind of what the process was with all of the layers for that, because not only did you have the movement, the red material, that was very interesting, and JP like used a chair, and just kind of the overlay of like text and music, and just kind of wondering what that process was for the dancers.
Yes. Tell us about why the red material.
Thank you. So firstly, I will think about the concept. So I want something, not only my body show on the stage, and also I'm doing things in visual art. So visually and aesthetically on the stage is really important to me. So I want to make the color contrast, so that's why it's red. And also there's multiple symbol and gesture behind the red, this color, and the fabric. So initially, the long red fabric represent the umbilical cord, but also it can also represent the word line. Because I'm a person who come from another country, I need to, pass the borderline. And also that's kind of like a river of life. So like for me as an artist, I'm trying to create a container for the audience, and what you want to put inside is based on your background, your experiences.
Yeah, and just to get to it a little bit, where are you from?
China.
Where in China?
The place next to Tibet.
Look, I have a son who's 14 years old. His mother is white and Jewish. Her parents live in Wellesley, Massachusetts. You ever been? Well, the name conjures up a lot, right? They're good people who are intent on voting for Trump. And right next to them, in their house that they've been in 30 years, a Chinese family has moved in. And every time that Chinese family walks that dog down the street, Dina, my former mother-in-law, is looking. She says to me, do you see anything? China, right? And this is this notion of what this lab can hold. Storytelling. Whose story? Whose perspective? What? For Dina, China is threat, right? Dina should be here right now, right? We're videotaping, so Dina, I'm calling you out, right? But this is America. These are our families. And I think that this lab, what I didn't even know this, by the way, Valkyrie, about the umbilical cord. By the way, the film was made everything you saw was made by Valkyrie. Yeah, right? Just want to make it really clear. So to me, this type of storytelling is essential. This doesn't, classrooms are places where potency can really happen, right? Or maybe can a classroom hold authentic stories, right? All right, sorry. And then JP, with the chair. Why the chair?
Yeah, when I think about prop usage, I think about sort of when we look at an object, it just seems so like inanimate. But I do believe like things that exist like a chair or the stage has sort of like an inherent storytelling meaning. So I was thinking about how many ways can I tell different stories and how many ways can I transform the chair. Yes, it's a chair. But when we sort of collectively imagine and world build sort of together, the chair could also be a ship. The chair could also be a place of power. The chair could also be a tool to build a house. So in some ways, I wanted to sort of explore all those notions of the chair and then sort of end with standing on top of it as sort of a declaration of like being proud. But I tried and also when you're using so many elements like sound and props, you have to find sort of the balance, because sometimes when I'm dancing with this chair, it's not just an inanimate object, it's like another person. A story is being inscribed to it. So how can I sort of let the chair sort of have its moment and not let me take over sort of how I play with that on the stage. So it's tricky, but sometimes I let the chair do its thing and I just walk around it because that's all it needs. Yeah.
Overall, I just want to say it was really amazing how when every performer / artist was on stage and you really took the stage and made it your own space, and when every person walked on, we were like transformed into a different story. So that was like just really incredible.
Well said. Yes. But coming right here, Adrianna, your stories, right? I mean, I was in rehearsal. The second story about an epidural and what a woman is going, right? I mean, it was incredible. So can you tell us about your process and a little bit about what we heard tonight, to put that in context?
Well, for that one specifically, that process was super contained, and I actually really like that. I think that's one of the reasons why I'm very much like, I came up in a classical tradition. I still, I'm doing a show at Lincoln Center in a couple of weeks. I still find myself very connected to that world, and I think the similarity between that world and the pop music world in terms of process is that it's very contained. They're very kind of strict measures and rhyme schemes, and you can't throw in a 5/8 when it's a 4/4 pop song, right? And so for that specific song, I was working from a script, and there was no music. There weren't really even like specified scene breaks, and so the music really had to shape the piece. And so I had to kind of reverse engineer a song with the text that already existed. So it was really fun. I kind of felt like I had a kind of puzzle where I had like, okay, epidural and hormones making you absolutely like angry and full of rage at somebody who's like going up the subway stairs too slowly, and how do I fit all this information in a way that you can just kind of like groove to, but if you listen attentively, you can actually also unpack all of those layers of meaning. So that was for that song. In general, I like just kind of finding phrases like skin hunger and things that kind of are oppositional to each other, and unpacking them in a song. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I have two questions, and maybe you'll moderate maybe the answering. So both of them are actually round robin questions. The first is how, when you come to a piece, you probably have an idea of what it's about, and then, or a particular idea, and then at the end of it, you might have shifted something or might have changed in some way. And I was wondering, has your approach or thought about what the piece is about, or I don't know, has it added a new layer? I'm curious about the changes that all your pieces might have gone through in the process of creation.
Great question.
Should I just wait with that one?
No, let's wait with that one.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Change. How has the piece changed?
So the beginning process originally started as liberation of queer voices. And then halfway through the process, I said, I don't want to do it anymore. I wasn't feeling the vibe. And then I started wanting to talk about something that is real in society and about silencing queer voices. And I originally had about eight dancers to start with. And then everybody started to move away or didn't want to be a part of it. And I was stuck with 3. And I was like, okay, now how do I tell the story of 3 queer individuals? And then coming here to perform on National Sawdust stage, I was like, okay, now how do I tell my story from a trio to a solo? And I had to really step outside the box and go, okay, well, a person's here, a person's there. I could pretend that person's there and dancing. But then I had to remind myself, I'm like, that doesn't matter anymore. But I still held the space for them, my dancers who you heard on the recording. I still held space for them because they were a part of it from day one to now. So it's still a work in progress if I want to continue with this, but overall, many layers that it shifted.
Beautiful. Dania, how's your piece changed?
For me, it's always been a story about vulnerability, because for me, it was always, when I was younger, it was very difficult for me to learn how to open up to like trusted individuals like my parents or my friends. So this whole piece kind of stems from that like irritation or that discomfort of finally trying to open up to people. So I always try to keep that core essence of that discomfort. So hence why a lot of the lyrics are like, oh, I'm uncomfortable with this, I don't like this, or I'm gonna go. Like such like kind of dark ideas, I think, but I'm glad that I stuck with them because personally I don't currently feel that way, but I do understand how I used to feel that way, and I'm very glad that I didn't really change too much of the essence of what I was trying to say. But I would say like during the process I kept exploring things musically. I was like, okay, how do I continue to develop this idea and continue to try to say like what I am in it? So like DBR, you said, oh, let's add the violin because that's part of you, because I'm a violinist as well as like a developing singer-songwriter. And then I added more things like the little shaker during one of those sections. I added more synthesizers. I explored more things with like Ableton Reaper because I am still currently learning how to use those softwares more and more. So I think it's representing where I'm at as a composer. It just has everything all wrapped up in there, I think.
Wonderful, wonderful. And Nathan, I know how your piece has changed, but how has your piece changed?
Yeah, so originally the song Ashes to Ashes I wrote it when I moved out from home for the first time. The first week I lived alone in my apartment. I come from a family of 4 kids, and like 3 pets. House was never quiet. It's the first time I was in like a quiet space, and it was really unnerving, and I was really homesick, but also I was like, it will never be the same. Yearning for a home I can never go back to. And then I kind of kept it on like the burner, and then as years have gone on and stuff, it's sort of evolved with it. Currently, I feel like the piece has come to more of like a yearning for a trans liberation. I myself am transgender. I've been on hormones for many years. I've had some surgery done. Like, I've been through the works. And like gender is something that to me that's like so important and yet so difficult to talk about. And it feels like we were going forward for so much of my life, and now that I'm an adult, to swear holy shit, it's, devastating. It's really hard. People I care about, myself, are in danger, frankly, and it's sort of become this piece that evolved from a homesickness for an actual home to a homesickness for safety, a homesickness for protection. Those miniatures at the beginning on the piano were originally written last March when all this anti-trans legislation started going through as sort of my response emotionally to it, being somebody who can't do anything about it. I don't have power. all I can do is scream into the void about it. And then I wanted to connect them more and put in audio clips of my own transition. So there was voice clips from speaker Paloma Stevenson, I believe is her last name. She's a representative from Kentucky. That was from last March. Her speech for trans people was really powerful to me. I wanted to include it overlaid with videos from my early transition to now, of my voice changing, and sort of, yeah, it's gone from like that to a much more like politically charged piece.
Yes, and we'll come back. We'll come back. Yes, sir.
I wanted to know, for those of you who use sound cues and effects in your pieces, how did you decide in the process when to engage with those sound effects and, you know, kind of react to them, or when to, I guess, leave them in the background?
It's a very, very specific question. Anyone want to take that on? Yep. We'll come back. Dania, go ahead, Deanna.
Hi, thank you for your question. I used sound cues as a means to make people feel a little bit less comfortable in their chairs. My piece was about something that was very uncomfortable for me and uncomfortable for anybody who experiences it. And I think I engaged with the sound cues to heighten what I was doing and to heighten the kind of tension and the uncomfortability in the room. And that's how I thought about it from the beginning. The entire soundscape was created with the intent to make you feel on edge. So.
And Lane, can we talk? This is related. Lane had live musicians, as well as pre-recorded. I'm okay.
Yes.
I'm okay.
Well, the sound that I used and reasonings behind it, because, you know, it told my story. I mean, the spoken word aspect of it was something I had written myself, and it just, I kind of connected it to like a metronome. Everything kind of happened one right after the other in a relatively singular rhythm, I suppose, if that's the correct word to call it. And, you know, I was pretty comfortable with that, didn't have an issue, but what I was very, very grateful for was the live musicians that were willing to put music to movement that I created, quite frankly, on the spot, because my original piece was very, very still. I didn't do a lot of movement. But then, you know, tugging back towards your question of how has your piece evolved, you know, we had a workshop class at the New York Live Arts where I got to dance in a genre that's very foreign to me. And I had a wonderful time and a different way to look at it. And it was very inspiring. And I thought, what a great way to connect my story and connect with their music and connect with my narrative with this kind of movement. And so.
And I just also wanted to say, the dancers and two of the composers danced yesterday for 2 hours with the Bill T. Jones Arnie Zane Company. Please give Deanna and Dania especially a hand. I mean, side by side, that is some fearlessness. And Kyler, did I say that right? Kylan is a brilliant guitarist who is studying at Montclair State University, working with Paolo Prestini. Also related to your question, I think. I just wanted to ask you a little bit about your process, because I kept thinking, wow, I wonder what the guitar is thinking. Is the guitar thinking, please just play a chord, please release me from this torture? No, I'm kidding. Tell us about your process.
Well, I kind of did torture it because I broke a string. It was the high E string. That's the one that always breaks. Yeah, so it was a butter knife, a screwdriver, and a metal guitar pick. There's a specific reason behind that. So I usually use like heavier picks than that. It was very thin, but with a thin pick, you get more of that like really scrapey, creaking sound. My piece is kind of weird, and this is how a lot of my pieces go. The effect came first. So I develop electronic instruments and effects to use in composition, and I'm also an EDM producer, so I use it in those as well. And EDM, sorry, is electronic dance music. Yes. Yeah, EDM. And so the specific type of effect I used was something called a stutter effect, where you play a sound into an effect and then it like plays it back rapidly. Like if I went boo, it would go boo, 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 boo. And one of the things that I wanted to do with it is when you have one of those that someone else might have made, it's not made to do all the things that I do, and I kind of got frustrated that I would have to add so many things onto the process to get it to sound that insane that I was like, well, I should just make my own that's like already insane. I don't have to do anything to it. You just like play a sound into it, it goes. So that came first, and then I was like, I should put it in a piece. And how the piece kind of changed, to answer your question, is once I started like exploring the guitar, I realized that I wanted to add more like complex, intricate noise sounds. So that's why I started doing all the stuff with the pick and stuff with the sliding with the screwdriver. And then I figured out that butter knives sound really cool on electric guitars because it's got this like serrated edge that kind of like cuts through them. Not good for the strings, but guitar strings are inexpensive, so it's all good.
I think we have one more question because we're. Yes. Yeah, I know. I think we have time for one more question, and I'd love to come back to you.
So basically, where did you come from before you came to the lab? How would you describe your background? And then also, what would you like going forward? Either like you're already planning or like ideal dreams, if you could just like snap a finger and the world just comes into play.
I love that. Let's answer that question last in like 10 seconds or less. We'll go right down the row. But where did you come? I love this notion of migration and even transformation. I'm adding on to your question. Where did you come from before you came into the lab? Or maybe can I change it? Why did you come into the lab? Is that okay? Either or. Why did you come into the lab? 10 seconds or less. We'll go right down the thing.
I gotta start.
10 seconds or less.
Maybe 20 seconds.
Maybe 20 seconds.
I come from a classical music background growing up. I always knew I wanted to go into the arts and creatives in some way. I cannot stop creating, so why would I try to? Ideally, in the future, I would really like to work on both sound, like track work for like video games and movies and film and like animated stuff, but also want to have a little singer-songwriter thing on the side.
Oh, I like that. You answered both. Yeah, we'll answer both. Why into the lab and where are you going in the future? 15 seconds.
I came from a non-dance background prior, a male cheerleader in high school, and then I challenged myself to step outside the box more. Came to the lab to kind of transform my artwork and bring it to a different platform. And I would love to work at a school where I can challenge the narrative of queer voices and all that. So, yeah.
All right, how I got into the lab. I kind of didn't know what I was fully getting myself into when I first entered. I mean, that's just in general with music school because I grew up as a violinist, right? But I fully didn't know if I wanted to become a composer or a musician. But when COVID hit, I wasn't able to play violin anymore or just engage with music the same way I did before, and that really took a negative effect on me, and I realized like all I want to do is music from then on out. So I took like the deep plunge into really trying to develop myself as a composer. And I heard about DBR's class from a graduating senior, and he was like, if you really want to just try something new and just like go take a class from DBR. And I'm very glad that I took a class from DBR because he's great, and this is a really cool opportunity that like I was able to get, I think. And then as for where I want to go, I want to really continue developing myself as a composer, and then I really want to learn how to maybe be an audio engineer, really run tech, because that's really fun. I love helping other musicians do their thing. Yeah, tech, you're so cool. They're not up there right now. Wait, they are. Hi. You guys are so cool. And then, yeah, same thing as Nathan, singer-songwriter on the side. That'd be really cool. Yeah.
I was asked to play 2 days ago. So I was a part of the class. But before I came here, I was and still am a rock guitarist. So that's kind of like where my background is, and I think that in a lot of ways I still kind of bring that like aggressiveness and like punk rock attitude into my stuff. As far as like where I'd want to go, I would just love to be able to teach people more about composition and sound design and electronics and adding cool and new ways of composing into their work. Yeah.
I come from a classical background and also a composition background. And I came into this class to have the experience to be kind of authentically myself and to not have to hide different parts or put different parts on display for different reasons, as I might have to in a classically trained, very compartmentalized life. And going forward, I just hope to continue this path of being authentically myself, unapologetically, and without cutting myself in half.
So I come from a business background, actually, and a ballroom dance background specifically. I joined the DBR Lab when I was actually a secondary educator for junior high and high school. I did that for 2 years. This was supposed to have originally been a substitution for a course, and then I began to kind of see what DBR was trying to create, and I knew I wanted to be a part of it. So this is actually my second year with the DBR Lab. My first year, I was the first fine arts management consultant with Melina, so I kind of contributed my business background to helping her run the lab last year, and then I was given the wonderful opportunity to come back and present my work. And then where I'm going is I want to be a dance scholar at a major research university, and I am laying the groundwork to fulfill that.
First, I'm always saying I'm a tree. So my background is actually in performing arts. But since I'm growing up, so my branches extend into visual art. And the reason why I come to the lab, I felt the love and the support. So I think I felt the lab is kind of like a platform, giving us nutrition, and we're kind of just absorb the nutrition and to prepare fly in the future career. And and third, what's happening in the future? Stage director, film director, independent artist.
Yeah, I come from a writing background. I was a spoken word writer and performer for a very long time, and then when I got into college, I started my dance training very late, but I was very committed and really just wanted to dance as much as I could. And then I just got into grad school because I just love being in performance, and I love this idea of storytelling as a medium sort of to archive stories and to sort of tell the stories that are usually not being said. And that's kind of where I am right now. I've been sort of trying to fuse both my writing and my playwriting skills and my dancing skills in order to sort of create sort of a storytelling sort of performance and experience for the audience, telling really important stories to me. The future, the reason I came into this class is DBR is just such a great mentor. Even though I feel like we are in different fields, he has just paved the path for so many people, and his sort of journey is very aspiring. And just by being next to him is just a positive, because I learned so much from him by the way he walks, the way he talks, and the way he is. Okay. And where I want to go in the future, I'm really, really driving myself to teach dance at university. And as I'm doing that, I really want to start my own performance company, sort of fusing writing and dance into storytelling and the sort of archiving history and just representing my people. So
I am going to mostly pass on this because I'm not a student. I'm a professional performer. But one of the things that I really love about this class that I've observed today and on the internet, creeping on Instagram, is that there's such a wealth of talent and such a diversity of talent. And I think it's really wonderfully nurtured by DBR. And as for the future, I can't really tell the future, but DBR has mentioned that there's more collaborations that are going to happen. So that's there for all of us to look forward to.
I started taking classes with Daniel in 2016 when I was in grad school. And by 2019, in my last year, he invited me to join the DBR Lab. And he kind of handpicked a group of us, of just students that he'd connected with in whatever way. And there was, I think, 7 the first time around, too. But very quickly, I realized, I was like, you know what? My art is actually management, and I would love to help manage this process. And I've been a part of the DBR Lab ever since. And this is kind of part of my own seasonal schedule as a freelance consultant in creative projects and arts management. And it means the world to me every year to be able to come back and work with young people in this development process and sharing these stories that are incredibly powerful and important. It's important that these stories and representation make it on the stage, that we're able to record these performances and, help people with their portfolios and headshots. And it feels like we're actually doing good work to help artists become professionals and taking the next steps in their career.
Yeah, that was amazing. So thank you for being here tonight. You can follow up with us online. And just thank you for the support. And thank all of you, because you really are doing brilliant work. There's no teachers or students on the stage, only vital artists. And Adrianna, thank you so much for being here, because it means so much. As seen on Succession, by the way, and I love to say that. And Melina, thank you so much too, because I think without you, there's really no lab. My job is so easy. And to all artists on the stage, thank you, because you're so inspiring. We need this in our world. This is an election year, as you know. Change is happening every day, right? I mean, I know sometimes we come into the theater to escape the world. I come into theater to learn something more about it, right? Come Monday, just blocks from here, things start to change, right? Like it or not. Politics and the arts collide constantly in a very strange way. And we looked to the artists to make reason, right? To give sustenance. You talked about nutrition, which I loved. Grounding. I look to you, to help me make sense and to feel a little bit better each day as, we navigate. And as I like to say to them, this is never going to happen again. This is over. It'll exist somewhere online. We will never be on the stage together again. We're never going to perform, and that's okay. That's memory. That's inevitability. That's life. That's life. So thank you for being here and for sharing in something that is magical. How do you turn the mundane into the magic? How do you turn the mundane into magic? I think it's with artists, right? I think that's what they do. So you can hang out. We're going to hang out a little bit. Thank you for being here. Be careful crossing the street because the world needs you. See you next time.